Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment to become present. So if you'd like to find a nice, comfortable seated position where the back of your spine, the back of your neck can sit nice and tall, opening your chest, opening your diaphragm, and opening your heart. Gently close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath the way it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention I'd like to talk about is the third Niyama, which is Tapas, T-A-P-A-S. And Tapas means self-discipline. Tap, T-A-P, comes from the Sanskrit heat or burn. And we practice tapas by using self-control and discipline to maintain the controlled fire within, helping us to get unstuck and push through to positive change and transformation. Just like controlled burn is done to a field or a forest, clearing it out down to the ground. This helps to restore nutrients, leading to desirable plant growth. Applying that to our lives encourages us to stay in the fire, the uncomfortable, knowing it will allow us to grow in a more healthy way. For this morning's pranayama, I'd like us to try the Bhastrika, which is the breath of fire or bellows breath. Our natural breath is a little bit more active on the inhale than it is on the exhale. Bhastrika, both the inhale and the exhale are very, very active. And they energize the body and the mind and improves awareness. The action comes from our belly. So visualize your belly fanning the flames of your inner fire. And the belly would be in the solar plexus of your body. So we'll do that. So I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see where I'm going to put my hands. So if you put your hands one on top of another, so it resides right above your belly button. This is your solar plexus. So we're going to inhale sharply and exhale sharply, almost like panting dog. So, and you'll feel your hands move back and forth and get into that rhythm of having your hands move with your breath. You can stop, just pause. If you get a little lightheaded, you can just stop there, but we'll do one more round if that's comfortable for you. So just start again. And pause. It's a good breath for this time of year where things are still kind of cool. You want to get those other elements of other than water and earth, mud season going. So that air and the fire really helps to balance off that. So for our meditation this morning, I'd like to introduce the Mudra, Rudra Mudra. And it's associated with the solar plexus, which is also your third chakra. I don't get into chakras that much with this class. There's still a ton for me to learn about them, but this is where the fire in your belly resides. And so this mudra helps to enhance personal will, self-discipline, and transformation. And how it's done, I keep getting my fingers tangled up when I try this. So you take your thumb, your index finger, and your ring finger. So you end up with your middle finger and your pinky sitting straight up. So thumb, index finger, and ring finger together. And that's the Rudra Mudra. So let's just take a few moments to have a meditation, and you can use that mudra to enhance your self-discipline and transformation. And I will meet you on the mat. You may open your eyes now. When we talk about this Niyama, Tapas, and its meaning of self-discipline, one of the things that always comes to mind is just the self-discipline it takes to get on the mat every day. But I know there's a lot of benefits to that. There's those of who have been able to do that on a regular basis, not every day necessarily, but on a regular basis, and actually can see the transformation that it has provided to their body and to their mind and to their spirit. And if you're in a situation where you can't roll out the mat that day. There's plenty of yoga to be had without rolling out the mat. Just getting out of the bed in the morning, for example, the sun breath that we do every morning for every class, that's a great way to wake up. It's an asana and a breathing technique. Another breath that you may want to try is the breath of joy that we do, bringing your arms, inhale, 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 exhale, and really exhale with a cleansing breath. And you can do that sitting down. You can do that standing up when you get out of bed, or just about any time. If you have to have your coffee first, you could do that while you're cleaning up after having your coffee. So you don't have to roll out your mat. Another thing about yoga is the spirituality of it, and the practicing of the yamas and the niyamas is doing yoga. So even if you just practice the first yama, which is ahimsa or kindness, practicing that each and every day to people, being kind to people, being kind to yourself, you're doing yoga. So it's a self-discipline that, again, does not involve necessarily rolling out the mat every day. So with that, we've rolled out our mat, and let us begin with our sun breaths. So again, be in a nice, comfortable seated position. Fingertips come to the side, and we're going to inhale and try to employ your ujjayi breath, that breath where you have that sound in the back of your throat. So you can monitor and be aware of that today, monitoring how strained your breath is in certain poses or not. Kind of ease yourself into situations where your breath is a natural and an even flow. So fingertips to the side, inhale, bring your arms up, and exhale, bring your hands down. Inhale up. Really get in touch with that ujjayi breath. Exhale down. Sound like a bunch of Darth Vaders. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. We're going to inhale, bring our arms up, and then twist over to the left and bring our arms down. Right hand lands on your left kneecap. Left hand lands on the mat right behind your hips, keeping your spine nice and straight and long. Torso twists to the left side of your mat and send your gaze out. And then inhale, sweeping our hands up. We're going to roll over to the other side. So twisting our torso to the right, bringing our left hand onto our right kneecap, right hand behind our hips. Spine is nice and straight and tall. And then sweep up. Bring it over to the left side again. Bring your hands down. Take 3 ujjayi breaths. Sweep up and twist over to the right. Bring our hands down and 3 more ujjayi breaths. And then return to center. Bringing our fingertips out to the side, we're going to do some seated side stretches. So bring your left arm up as close to your ear as you can, as close to as straight as you can. And then your left or right fingertips are on the mat, and you're going to bring your right elbow down toward the mat, which will create a tilt in your body over to the right side. And listen to your Ujjayi breath here. It might be a little bit more shallow than it was on the other exercises. So if it is, just kind of bring yourself back up so your breath is flowing more naturally, more rhythmically. And then bring that hand back down. We'll bring our right arm up close to our ears. Bend your left elbow down toward the mat, tilting your body over to the left side. Listen to your Ujjayi breath. Again, if it's a little bit shallow or constricted, then just kind of come more upright. Take a little bit of the bend out so you can breathe more naturally. And bring your right hand back down to the mat. We'll do both sides once again. So bringing your left arm up. Bringing your right elbow down toward the mat, tilting your body over to the right, feeling that stretch in the left side, left rib cage. And then come back up. And one last time on the other side, right arm goes up, left elbow comes down toward the mat, creating a side stretch. And then come back to center. We'll roll down on our mat. You can roll down one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. And we're going to be working a lot on our solar plexus, our core area today. And the benefits of working on our core is to strengthen this area, which also helps to strengthen the area around your hips and your lower back. So it often is a way of decreasing lower back pain to have a strong core. So a lot of the exercises today will be doing just that. So bring your knees to your chest, give yourself a nice hug. And with your fingers interlaced around your right knee, extend your left leg fully down to the end of the mat. Keep your toes flexed up to the sky so that both legs are feeling active. Feel the energy in your legs. And then bring your left leg back up. Give a nice gentle little hug. Switch sides so your interlaced fingers are on your left kneecap. And extend your right leg fully down to the end of the mat. Toes are flexed, legs are energized. Bring your right leg back up, gentle little hug. Again, on both sides, so bringing your interlaced fingers to your right knee, extend your left leg down, toes are flexed to the sky. And then bring your left leg back to your chest, gentle little hug. And then switch knees so your interlaced fingers are on your left knee. Extend your right leg down to the mat. Feel that energy in your legs, through your thighs, through your shins, out your heel. Then bring your leg back. Give a gentle little hug. We're going to bring our legs into a chair sitting position. So your legs are at a 90-degree angle. Bringing your hands down to the mat, palms facing down to support you. Shoulders are nice and relaxed into the mat. And your lower back, and this is important, your lower back should be making contact with the mat. And we're going to start by just doing some toe taps. So bringing your knees together so they're touching, I think, helps this a little bit. So bring your knees and so they're touching one another. And then we're going to drop our right foot down toward the mat. Doesn't have to touch the mat. And bring it back up. So you're back in the chair form. And then bring your left toes down toward the mat. And then bring your left toes back up beside your right foot. And then bring both feet down to the mat. And then back up. And again, just double check to make sure that your lower back is on the mat at all times. You may want to, even with your hands on the mat, you may want to even slide them under your hip bones just to provide that little bit of curve so that your lower back can stay on the mat. So again, tap your right foot down toward the mat, bring it back, tap your left foot down and bring it back, and tap both feet down and bring them back. You start to feel that in your abdomen area. So again, and try to do it with control. Just don't drop your foot down. Try to slowly lower your right foot down toward the mat, and then slowly lower it or raise it back up, and then slowly lower your left foot down, and then raise it back up, and lower both feet down and raise it back up. And we'll do this one more time. So slowly lower your right foot down toward the mat, bring it back up, lower your left foot down to the mat, bring it back up, and then both feet down toward the mat and bring it back up. And then we're going to bring our toes up toward the sky. So lift your right foot up and bring it back. And then lift your left foot up toward the sky and bring it back. And then lift both feet up toward the sky and bring them back. Again, the right foot lifting up slowly toward the sky and coming back. Lifting your left foot up toward the sky and coming back. And then lifting both feet up toward the sky and coming back. And one last time, right foot goes up, slowly toward the sky and then back down. Left foot goes up slowly and controlled, and then come back down. And then both feet go up slowly and then come back down. Then we're going to bring our hands behind our head, interlacing our fingers behind our head. Again, shoulder blades are nice and snug into the mat, keeping your feet in the position that they are. And again, check on your lower back, make sure that is in contact with the mat. You may want to bring your feet up a little higher. If the lower you lower your feet, the more arch your back gets. So raise your feet up higher to ensure that you have that contact with the mat. Then we're just going to have our hands behind our head as a support, as a kind of a hammock. In fact, if you push your head against your hands, this will work even better. So we're going to push our head against our hands, but lift our chest and neck up toward our knees and then lower back down. What I'm trying to avoid is having you pull your head up with your hands. So just have your hands there as support for your head. Kind of put the weight of your head into your hands, not the other way around. And then inhale, come up, and exhale, release. And the movement's not very much, but it's enough to activate that solar plexus. So inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower back down. And inhale, lift up. And lower back down. And if you want, you can continue with that. Or if you like to try a little bit more of a burning in your, getting that fire in your belly going, you lift up, twist so that your right elbow comes toward your left knee, bringing your left knee toward your body, keeping your right leg extended, and then bring everything back down to the mat, and then twist, bringing your left elbow to your right knee and coming back down. And just try a few of these at your pace. Again, we're trying to lift from the chest and the core, not having your hands do the pulling up. And a few more. 3, 2, and 1. And bring your feet back down to the mat. And we're going to roll back up. So you can either roll over to the side and make yourself come back up to hands and knees, or you can bring your hands behind your knees and do some spine rolls, massage the lower back. And you can feel that in your core as well. So then come up to a seated position, and then you can bring your hands to the front, coming into tabletop position. We're going to do a few cats and cows here. So your hands are right below your shoulders, fingers are spread out, weight evenly distributed in your hands. Knees are right below your hips, navel's tucked to your spine. And exhale, roll your back, dropping your head and tailbone down. Inhale, lifting your head and tailbone up for cow. Rolling your back, exhaling, dropping your head and your tailbone down for cat. Inhale, lifting your head and tailbone up for cow. And continue at your own pace. Just really listen to your breath. Synchronize your movements with your breath. And then come back to a neutral spine and bring our knees together underneath our hips. Again, double check to have your weight distributed equally in your hands, pushing down your hands slightly to create that space between your shoulders and your ears. We're going to lift our right leg up, pointing toes to the back, and lift our left arm up, pointing our fingertips to the front. And then we're going to bring our elbow, our left elbow and our right knee together underneath our torso so they touch. And then extend them back. So the left hand is extended to the front, right leg is extended to the back. Again, inhale, bring elbow and knee together to touch and extend. Inhale. Touch your elbow and your knee, and exhale, extend. Inhale, elbow to knee, and exhale to extend. One last time, elbow to knee, and extend, arm and leg out. Bring them both down to the mat. We'll do that on the other side. Just realign, make sure you're in a good position. Extend your left leg up to hip height. Extend your right arm up to shoulder height. And then bring the elbow and knee together. And expand, send them out to the bottoms of the mat. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, expand, arm and leg. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, expand. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, expand. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, expand, and bring everything back down to the mat. We're going to tuck our toes under, walk our hands back, come into a squat, and then push down into our feet and come up to mountain pose. Our toes are facing the straight edge of the mat. We lift our toes up, spread them out as wide as you can get them, and then bringing them back down to the mat. Lift our heels up off the mat, and then bring those back down. And feel anchored to your mat, and to the floor, and to the earth below. Inhale, posture essentials. So our legs are nice and strong. There's a gentle bend in our knees. Navel's tucked to our spine. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Spine in the back of the neck is nice and straight and long. Crown of our head is reaching up to the sky. We pull a string, we'll have a nice straight line. So inhale, we sweep our hands all the way up overhead. Big inhale, exhale, forward fold, bending generously at the knees, bringing your hands down to the mat, to the floor. And just check in here for a moment. See how you're feeling today. Feeling if there's any tension. Listening to your breath. If there's any tension, send a nurturing breath to that spot. See if it'll ease it up a little bit. Then inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Straight, flat back, so that your spine, the back of your neck's nice and long, straight line, gazing down. And then bring your hands down toward the floor, your crown of your head down toward the floor. Gentle bend in your knees. And then sweep your hands from the mat all the way up overhead. We're going to do a little different thing today other than our palm tree. Bring our hands down alongside, and we're going to inhale, sweep our hands up overhead, and as we're sweeping our hands up, come up on our tippy toes. And then with our hands coming down, lowering, coming back down onto our heels. So inhale, sweep up, come up, reach all the way up, come up onto your tippy toes. And exhale, come back down, slowly try to do with control. I didn't, I fell out of it. And then sweep your hands up again, slowly come up onto your toes with control. And this is a great one you can do every morning when you get out of bed. And then exhale, coming back down, slowly. One more time, inhale, sweeping your hands up. Come up onto your tippy toes, nice and slow and controlled. And then exhale, slowly lower everything back down. So we're going to do our regular inhale, sweeping hands up overhead, and exhale, forward fold. Bringing your hands back down to the mat. Inhale, half forward fold, straight back. Back of the neck's nice and long. Exhale, bring the top of your head, the crown of your head down toward the ground. Inhale, sweep our hands up overhead. And bringing them up overhead, bring our right hand to our right thigh and slide it down toward our right knee. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, slide the left hand down toward the left knee. Inhale, come back up. Switching hands, right hand comes down. Slide it down toward your right knee. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, left hand comes down. Slide it down toward your left knee. And inhale, come back up. And exhale, forward fold. Bending at the knees. And bringing both hands to the mat. We're going to roll up onto the balls of our feet and come into a squat. So your knees are coming between your arms. And then we're going to bring our heels back down to the mat, lift our hips up to the sky, back to a forward fold. Then bend your knees again, coming onto the balls of your feet, coming into a squat. Exhale, put your heels back down, lifting your hips back up, forward fold. And one last time, come up onto the balls of your feet, bending your knees, coming down into a squat. And then send your heels back down to the mat, forward fold, and sweep your hands from the floor all the way up overhead. Palms come together, and palms come to heart center. And palms come to the back of your hips for supported back bend. So your feet are about hip width apart. Fingertips are on the back of your hips pointing down. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Oh, I felt just a nice pop right there. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Chin is tucked to your chest. And then just gently drop your shoulders back. Continue with your breathing. Listen to your breath. If it's constrained or shallow, you may want to just bring your shoulders up a little higher. Then inhale, come back up. And how's everyone doing? So this morning we're going to do a variation of sun salutation B. There's 3 different sun salutations. Sun salutation is a great sequence to really get yourself warmed up. And B includes quite a few extra steps for your core as well. So we'll start in mountain position. Sweep our hands up overhead. And then we're going to, with our feet about hip width apart, we're going to lower our hips down into a chair pose. So we're going to bring our hips down toward the ground, keeping our arms up. The navel's tucked to the spine on this pose to support your lower back. And then bring your hands down to forward fold, bring them down to the mat, forward fold. Bring them up to your shin, half forward fold, straightening out your back. And then bring your both hands down to the mat, then extend both feet to the back of the mat, coming into plank. Wrists are right below your shoulders. Heels are pushing to the back of the mat, energizing your legs. Navel's tucked to the spine. And the core is probably best exercised in a plank pose. There's variations on the plank, which we'll go through. So then we're going to slowly lower to the mat, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, keeping your elbows close to your side. Then gently lifting our chest up with not that much effort on our hands. Come into Cobra. Hips are on the mat. Gentle back bend. Tuck your toes under. Come back up into plank. And then ease into downward dog, lifting your hips up to the sky. And pedal out here for a moment. Fingers are spread wide apart. Index fingers pointing to the top of the mat. Arms are straight. Chest is reaching to your thighs. Elevating your hips slightly. And then we're going to bring our left knee to our left elbow. So inhale, pushing off the right toes, left knee to left elbow, and then back to downward dog. Pedal out. Inhale, left knee to left elbow, and then back to downward dog. Pedal out. And then we bring our left foot all the way up between our hands. So inhale, bringing our left foot up. You can assist that. And coming into runner's lunge. So our knee is right above our ankle. Back foot is nice and snug in the mat. Heel pushing to the back of the mat. And then we're going to lift up to high lunge. So you can do that in 2 steps. Come up to your knee and then come all the way up. Or if you can, just come up 1 movement. Keeping your lunge position. Bring your arms up overhead. And create a little bit of a back bend. The weight and your back toes should be supporting this pose. And then bring your hands all the way back down to the mat. Send your left foot back and come back into plank. We're going to bring our left knee down to the mat and kickstand our left foot out. Send our right toes down to the bottom of the mat. This is modified plank pose. So we're going to sweep our right hand from the mat on up overhead. And as we do, lift your right leg up. And then come back down, bringing your hand down and your foot down. We'll sweep again. Sweep your right hand up. Sweep your right foot up. And come back down. One last time. Sweep your right hand up. Right foot goes up. And then come back down. We'll do that on the other side. So switch legs. Right leg gets kickstand outside of the mat. Left leg extends to the bottom of the mat. We'll sweep our left hand up and sweep our left leg up. And then bring that back down. Again, sweep your left hand up. Left leg goes up. And then bring that back down. And one last time, sweep your left hand up. Left leg goes up. And bring that back down. Come back into plank pose. And again, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Slowly lower to the mat. And slide your arms, hands out to the front of the mat, coming into Sphinx position. Your elbows should be over or under your shoulders. Tops of your feet pushing down into the mat. Feeling that arch in your back. If this is a little bit too rigid on your arms, you can slide your elbows a little bit further forward. Get into a spot that's comfortable for you. And I have some spring dad jokes. So what did the tree say to spring? What did the tree say to spring? What a relief. What a relief. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Push down, come into cobra. And then tuck your toes under, coming into downward dog. We're going to lift our left leg up. So your three-legged dog. And then bring that leg, bending the knee, bring that leg all the way to the front. You can assist it, like I do. Coming into runner's lunge. Your knee will again be stacked over your ankle. You pivot your back foot down. I'm going to sweep our arms up and over and come into warrior two. And just feel this strength of this pose right now. Try to keep it a little light and airy this time of year. Send your gaze to your right finger or left fingertips rather. And bring your left forearm to your left thigh and sweep the right arm over. So you have this nice straight line from your toes on up to your fingertips. And then bring your right hand down, pivoting on your back foot, coming back to runner's lunge. I'm going to push down in our front foot, lifting our back leg up and bringing our right foot to meet the left. Coming into a forward fold. And then inhale, sweeping our hands all the way up from the mat, up overhead, palms come together, and palms come to heart center. We'll do that all on the other side. So again, inhale with your feet either hip width apart or you can even try them together. Sweep our hands up overhead. And I'm going to bend our knees and lower our hips, coming into chair pose. Tucking our navel to our spine, supporting our lower back. And then lower our hands to the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, place both hands on the mat. Extend both feet to the back of the mat for plank pose. We're going to lower our torso to the mat, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Push down gently, come up into cobra. Elbows are tucked to the side. Nice gentle arch. Tuck your toes under, come back up into plank, and then up into downward dog. Pedal out here for a moment. Then on the inhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow. And then back again to downward dog. Pedal out. Inhale, right knee to right elbow. And then back to downward dog. Pedal out. And then we'll bring our right knee up between our hands. You can assist it any way you want to get up there. And then really focus on pushing down into your right foot and having your back foot really anchored as well. So you could come up into high lunge. So push down, coming up, staying in your lunge position, lifting your arms up overhead. And then bringing your arms back down to the mat, hands back down to the mat, bringing your right foot back, coming back into plank pose. We're going to do a side plank. So we're going to lift our left foot up, bring it over, crossing it over the right leg and bringing your left toes down to the mat. And then turning onto your right arm, lifting your left arm up to the sky. And then bring your left arm down. And you can do the modified plank that we did earlier. That's a little bit too much. So on the other side, lift your right leg up, cross it over the left foot, pivot so that you land, your right or left arm is supporting you, and then send your right arm up. And then bring your right arm back down. Coming back to plank pose. And then knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Lower down to the mat with control. And then send your fingertips out to the front of the mat. Elbows are right below your shoulders. Tops of your feet. Pushing down. Coming into Sphinx pose. One last joke. What did the dirt say to the rain? What did the dirt say to the rain? If this keeps up, my name will be mud. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tucking your elbows to your side. Gently push up into cobra. Tuck your toes under and come up into downward dog. And then we're going to raise our right leg up to three-legged dog. And then bring that leg back down, bending the knee and sending your foot forward to runner's lunge. You guide your foot between your hands any way that's good for you. Then we're going to pivot our back foot down and push down into our front foot, coming up into warrior two. Arms are out at shoulder height. Keep them light and airy. Turn your gaze to your right fingertips. Bring the right forearm down to the right knee. And then send your left arm up and over, creating a nice straight line of energy from your toes to your fingertips. And bring your left hand back down to the mat. We're going to push down again into our front foot, lifting up our back leg and bringing our left foot to join the right for forward fold. And then slowly roll up, bent knees, bringing your arms up overhead. Hands come together and palms come to heart center. Bring our toes out to the edge of the mat. Heels are tucked in 45 degrees. Hands still in Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. Let's lower your hips down toward the mat, bringing your torso between your legs, elbows to the knees. And then if you want, you can just keep guiding your hands in the prayer pose down toward the mat, pushing your knees open a little bit wider. And then bring your hands down to the mat and your knees down to the mat, having your knees out to the edges of the mat, big toes come together. We're going to sweep our right arm up to shoulder height and then sweep it under our torso, bringing our right shoulder and our right ear down to the mat where to thread the needle. And then lifting our left arm up to the sky, opening our chest. And then bring our left hand back down, push down into the hand, coming back up. And then we're going to sweep our left arm up to shoulder height and then sweep it under our torso and bring our left shoulder and our left ear down to the mat. And then sweep our right hand up to the sky. And bring that right hand back down, push down to come back up. Come back to tabletop. And we're going to cross our legs behind us and lower our hips back and come into a seated position and then into staff pose. Staff pose, our legs are nice and straight, toes are flexed, pointing up to the sky. If you want, you can make little fists and push down into the mat, lifting your hips up and then setting your hips back down so that you really can feel that sit bones against the mat. We're going to do some half boats here, another excellent core exercise. So lifting your knees up, again, kind of a chair pose. Important part here is to keep your back nice and straight. So with your hands underneath your knees, kind of pulling them towards you, keeping that back nice and straight and long. You can tap a toe down to the mat, tap your left toe down to the mat, and then both toes down to the mat. Tap your right toe down, left toe down, and both toes down. And if you want a little bit more core strength training, let go of your hands underneath your knees, place them alongside of your legs, and tap down with one foot, tap down with the other foot, and tap down with both feet. Again, tap down with one foot, tap down with the other foot, and tap down with both feet. One last time, tap down, and tap down with both feet. And then we're gonna slowly roll down on the mat or express method, whichever works for you. Actually, I'm gonna try the express now. And bring your knees to your chest and give a nice gentle hug. We'll send our arms out at shoulder height, straight across. And with our bent knees, we're going to lower them slowly with control to the right side till they land on the mat or the floor. And then we'll slowly turn our head to look at our left fingertips. And slowly return your head back to center and slowly lift your legs back up to center with control. And then slowly with control, drop them over to the left side, or I should say lower them over. Dropping them is not with control. And then gently roll your head over to get your right fingertips. And slowly return your head back to center and slowly lift your legs back up to center. And then send your feet down to the bottom of the mat to prepare for Shavasana. You can send your heels out to each corner and just let your feet drop, flop open. Your arms will come out to the side. And if you want to start with putting one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart, and then opening them like you're unfurling a flower, dropping the backs of your hands, your palm faces up. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Shoulder blades are nice and snug in the mat. And then just relax and release into the mat. Let the earth support you. For this morning's poem, I have an excerpt from the poem by Robert Frost titled Two Tramps in Mud Time. The sun was warm, but the wind was chill. You know how it is with an April day. When the sun is out and the wind is still, you're 1 month in the middle of May. But if you so dare or so much as dare to speak, a cloud comes over the sunlit arch. A wind comes off a frozen peak, and you're 2 months back in the middle of March. A bluebird comes tenderly up to a light and turns to the wind to unruffle a plume. His song so pitched as not to excite a single flower as yet to bloom. It is snowing a flake, and he half knew winter was only playing possum. Except in color, he isn't blue, but he wouldn't advise a thing to blossom. The water for which we may have to look in summertime with a witching wand, in every wheel rut's now a brook, and every print of a hoof a pond. Be glad of water, but don't forget the lurking frost in the earth beneath that will steal forth after the sun is set and show on the water its crystal teeth.